Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Bianca Bee. What's up, Bianca?
What's up? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm hanging in there. Life is great.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you about everything that you got going on, about your journey with cosmetics, and then you're an author, you're an entrepreneur, which is who I am. So I just love all of that. So tell us about your journey of becoming. Who is
Yeah.
Bianca Bee?
Bianca Bee is a little girl from Detroit who wanted to be in the entertainment industry. So at 17, I moved to LA. I went to film school. And when I was there, it was for me all or nothing. And when I moved there, I just went all in and I really found my way in LA. I created this show called the Bianca Bee Show back in 2013. People thought I was crazy when I created it because they were like, "What is this? What is this girl doing at our school? She's getting our space, the studio space." And I just knew I wanted to highlight people who were in the entertainment industry and all the people I have met so far, and kind of just highlight how they got to where they are, And
Yes.
so my whole message was always motivating that young girl in Detroit that you can make it, you can be successful, and you don't have to move to LA to be successful. You could be successful in your own town and things like that. But while I was in school, I was able to intern and work for some big companies. My first internship was the Oprah Winfrey Network. And
Wow.
then after that, I just kept progressing in my career. And I finished school at TMZ. I was an intern, and then I was able to work on the Steve Harvey Show after, the Mel Robbins
Wow.
Show, Nick Cannon Show, and I just kept progressing within my career. But I also always had the message that you can do whatever. You can be multi-talented. You
Mhm.
can do whatever. And so within this journey, I've always been a glam girl. So that's where the cosmetics comes in because people always would be like, she's a film student, but she looks like a fashion student. But I call myself the girly film producer because I just love what I do. I love the
Yeah.
entertainment industry, and that's just a little bit of my backstory of my
Yeah.
journey. Yeah.
So, 17, you leave home to come to California. You know, a lot of people leave home becoming a star. I'm going to move to LA. I'm going to become a star. What was everyone thinking of when you said, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to move to California." What was everyone's thoughts?
My family was super supportive because they knew I wanted to be in the industry. Like
Okay.
since a very young age, like I always knew LA was where I wanted to be. And so I went by faith. My mom was super supportive, my family was super supportive, and I just for me it was like I was going to make it. I wasn't coming back home like and
Hmm.
although I've lived in LA and I'm, currently in New York now, it was hard. It wasn't easy. It was a very difficult um experience in both states. It's hard moving out of the state that you're from to pursue something that is a faith-based type of industry. You have to go by
Yeah.
faith when you're being an entrepreneur or in the entertainment space. It is hard. It's not easy.
And even in that journey, I know that you had the support at home, but talk to me about really the importance of finding your tribe or your support system while you're in a new space or a new state. Why is that important and how did you go about doing that?
I think LA, I'm going to start with LA because I was a teenage young 20s, and most of my friends that were in LA were from Detroit. So that
Oh,
experience was great because it was like,
yeah.
"Oh, these are my childhood friends." Like I had a tribe of people from where I was from, and so my advice is always like if you move to a new state, try to find people where you're from because there's nothing like the people that you're where you're from. So LA was great. New York has been a challenge as an adult. I'm in my 30s now. I'm 31, and it's been hard. It's been a little bit more challenging for me to find
Mm,
that tribe, but you have to start going out. I know it sounds so cliche, but how are you going to meet people if you don't go out and you're a homebody and you're like, "Oh,
that's
I don't
true.
like the people here." I had to change my perspective on this, new journey in New York because I had built such a community there
Hmm.
in LA, but New York, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a journey in here. Yeah, but it's hard. But you can do it, but at first the first step is honestly just getting outside, like, and meeting people who have the same interests as you, because how can you
Mm-hmm.
grow if you don't meet
That's
people
true.
who want to excel in life just like you? So yeah.
That is so true. And we can look at that from the entrepreneur perspective, right? Is that, if you're starting out as an entrepreneur, like you're clueless about business and how to run a business, how to start a business, how to grow a business.
Mhm.
But it's important for us to surround ourselves around people that are entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, yeah, because I'm in this space too. Like, I am an entrepreneur. I'm not a corporate girly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard for me to. It's a totally different mindset. Not saying
Oh,
that you
yeah.
can't do both, because clearly I'm doing both, but it is a different mindset you have to shift into when you're going from an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur to the corporate space, and you have to be around other entrepreneurs in order to excel, because they get it. Like, other
Yes.
entrepreneurs get it. Like, it's a
Mm-hmm.
risk, and it's a faith risk. Like, you have to have faith within it. It is going to be a lot of ups and downs being an entrepreneur. Just basic business planning, finances, flipping your money, sometimes not making revenue one month. Like, so you have to be around people who
Mm.
have experienced that as well, because that's
Yes.
how you grow.
That's so, so true. That's really great advice at any stage in your entrepreneur journey,
Mhm.
especially in the beginning, though. Because, like you said, sometimes we have to pivot, right? I was just having a
Yeah.
conversation with one of my friends the other day. Like, when you're on an entrepreneur journey, you have an idea, you're going to launch it. Sometimes you may not meet the numbers, sometimes you might have to get a job.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the truth. Yeah.
You just might have to,
Yeah.
because you have to live, right?
Yeah.
And your job can support your dream, it can fund your dream. And I'm sure you know this for yourself, that you can learn a lot of things, connect with people, and gain a lot of knowledge working corporate and
Yeah.
having your own business at the same time.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I definitely feel like you can do both. And you can learn so much more. You can learn, be like, I'm not going to do that in my business.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? They are clearly successful. I need to be here and milk that information to take with me.
Mm.
So, yes, I've worked many places. I've been blessed to work for many different networks within the entertainment space. And I take something from each one, like each job experience, like, has taught me so much within being an entrepreneur. And sometimes you got to take a step back too and really start again. And it's okay to start. It's okay to start again and get more knowledge and more research, because when I launched
Yes.
BFF Cosmetics in the beginning, like, my first month, I oversold. I was like, crap, I don't have enough product. So even
Mm.
like that, even you may think like, oh, I'm starting small, but you never know like how your business can grow. Like, so it's so many ups and downs with entrepreneurship for sure.
But you love it though, right?
Love it. I do. I do.
So
I
let's
do.
let's talk about your journey in the entertainment field.
Yeah.
Who was your first big client or opportunity or show that you were able to work with, and how did that feel?
I would say, of course, the Oprah Winfrey Network was my first internship, because during that time I loved Oprah, still love
Mm-hmm.
her to this day, but I was like in my hosting bag, and that was someone I idolized. And so
Mm.
I loved the atmosphere. I loved my boss. She was incredible. Like, she didn't micromanage. She was just really just such a good leader, and that was a great experience. But as far as like talk shows, I would have to say my favorite was the Steve Harvey Show. And although I came in later on in the season, and was there like kind of towards where they wrapped, I learned
Okay.
so much within the space. And I realized like that show, like, who you work with is so important. It creates an atmosphere, and that was such an incredible atmosphere. Just successful people, people who are grinding, and that experience honestly made me
Mm.
love what I do. And you don't get that at every show, in every
Okay.
network. You don't get that, and that opportunity I like loved. That was
Yeah.
my favorite show. Yeah.
And tell us a little bit what you did on the Steve Harvey show.
So when I came in, I was just a PA, but I booked a lot of guests, and that's when I realized,
Really?
yeah, I had when I came in, my friend had referred me. So we were on the same production team. And so she was like, Bianca, we need 30 men. You need to help us book this. And so that's when I realized, oh, I have a bug for booking. That's when I
Mm.
was like, oh, I can do this. And I was able to succeed that in like less than a week. I had a
Wow.
week to do it. Like it was crazy. And it was such an incredible segment. It's still on YouTube. It's called What I Taught My Sons. And it was just
Mm.
such a incredible experience. And then after that, I became a booking producer and moved to New York. I worked on the Mel Robbins show and then the Nick Cannon show. And then at the current
That's
network I'm at
crazy.
now. And, I just love talent booking. I love putting people on TV because I know how it is to like, be that young person who want that opportunity. And I
Mm-hmm.
love being able to do that for people, especially when it's a positive segment and
Mm-hmm.
just selling someone's opportunity to fly in and just to have this feel like a celebrity for a day. So
Wow.
those experiences are, I have to say, that's what I do. I'm a talent booker and I thoroughly enjoy it.
And did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you would be booking talent? When you left home at 17, did you think I would be booking talent for some major shows and networks?
Absolutely not. I thought that I was going to be an editor. I thought that's what I wanted to do when I first went to film school. And I didn't think like I knew I liked to be in a I knew I liked to be in front of the camera, but
Uh huh.
I didn't know that I would do hosting and then be a talent booker. You couldn't have told me that in a million years.
Wow. And you love
Yeah.
your job, huh?
I thoroughly do love booking talent. Like I just love the experience. I love being on set. Um, and I do like the writing. I do like the producing, but the booking is just like the most important thing in a show, especially what kind
Mm-hmm.
of show you work on. It's the most important thing. And my goal in the future is to have my own agency,
Okay.
and that's like my ultimate goal, just to be in the back front and make people great and make people successful. Like, yeah, I love it.
Have you found any connections from childhood to where you are today in your career?
I would have to say, yeah, Kel Mitchell, from Keenan
Really?
and Kel. Yeah, so crazy. Him and Megan Good. So I'm gonna start with Kel.
Okay.
Kel, I grew up watching. I wanted to book for. I just loved. I grew up with Keenan and Kel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in 2012, 2011, 2012, someone at my school was like, "Hey, you should come to church with me." And so I ended up going to the church. It was Spear Food Christian Center, and sorry if I'm messing up the name, but it was the church, and Kel was a member at the church. And so I built a relationship with him and his wife, really lovely. I would see them through passing and things
Wow.
like that. So fast forward, it's time for me to graduate. I have this show, and my senior project and senior final was going to be the Bianca Bee Show. But I wanted it to be a A-list celebrity or someone who was in the entertainment industry. So I hit up Asia, his wife. I
Uh
said,
huh.
"Hey, it's Bianca from church. I know y'all haven't seen me in a while, but I have this show. Can Kel come on the show? It's going to be like 30 minutes." And she was like, "Yeah, Kel would do it." So Kel ended up driving from the Valley to Santa Monica and in his own car
Wow.
came on set, and that was my final project. And then fast forward, I moved to New York. I'm booking for the Nick Cannon show, and Kel Mitchell is a guest on the show, and we take a photo, another photo. And so I posted like a photo from then and a photo from
Yeah.
now. I would just have to say that was a full circle moment.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then Megan, okay, Nick Cannon. I'm gonna do Nick Cannon too.
Okay.
Prophet, my friend Adele, he's a prophet. He told me in 2015, 20 no, 2015, he was like, "Hey, you're going to do something with Nick Cannon. I don't know what it is, but you're going to do something with Nick Cannon." I'm
Hmm.
like, "Okay." So I seen Nick Cannon at a red carpet in 2016. I was like, hey, I met Nick Cannon. You said I was going to meet him. He's like, no, you're going to do work with him. You're not just going to meet him. Fast forward, fast forward. I worked on the Mel Robbins show. That ended, and then the pandemic happened. And then my producer on the Mel Robbins show, she was like, hey, they have the Nick Cannon show. I know you want to do entertainment and want to do his show.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was like, she was like, they're like, apply, I'll send your resume. And so then we ended up doing the show, and that was another pivotal moment. And then Megan Good, I ended up interviewing her on the red carpet, and then ran into her and her sister out and about, and just an incredible woman. And so those experiences, like seeing people I grew up with and just like watching on TV, and then being able to work with them or like building some type of relationship. Not saying that we're BFFs, not saying that, but just those full circle moments have been crazy.
Yeah, and it's wild. It's like you had to be. I mean, you got the word from the prophet for those of you that are believers. Us God girlies over here. We get words, and we're like trying to figure out, well, how's it gonna come or what's it gonna look like, and then sometimes we put God in a box and we just think it's gonna be something small. And it turned out to be something amazing. And that's just like a true testament of being open to opportunities. If you place yourself, in wherever you want to do, whatever arena, just be open for opportunities to come to you. But you have to position yourself to be open to receive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's wow.
I know. It's crazy.
Man, today has been such a mind-blowing day. That's amazing. And that's so encouraging. Talk to the individual, and I know I jump ahead of myself, but talk to the person that has a dream that feels like their dream, like what a GPS, if you've ever used Waze before, it takes you down all kind of streets. Like, am I going to get to my destination or what? But eventually you do. And that's what I feel like your journey has been. You've gone down all these different streets and positions and things of that sort, but you've reached to, where you need to be to get you to the next level. So talk to that person where they feel like their life is just being detoured all over the place.
Rejection is protection. I think I'm that person that suffered with imposter syndrome. Why didn't I get this opportunity? I deserve it. My resume says this, my resume says that. And sometimes it's literally protection. Sometimes, or, you're not prepared yet and you have some more learning to do. I always say 28 to 30 was the very hardest like experiences in my life. Like those 2 years were the hardest years, and I did not understand. I'm like, why me? And you're gonna ask yourself, why me? Like, why am I going through this? But you never know, like the message. It could be you didn't get the job, you got fired. I with the film industry, these projects aren't consistent. So I remember getting a call saying that, oh, our show is done. Like, you guys are done. And I had moved my life to New York, and we found out on the internet the next day. They said, hey, unfortunately, it's time. The show is over. And so those things are going to happen, and you may not understand why. And it could be even as an entrepreneur or a business, you may think, hey, you got that grant or that loan, and things could pivot quickly. And I think you have to learn how to pivot. If you take anything away from this, interview, is like learn how to pivot, and you still got to have faith. Like, I remember just crying on my knees, scraping up change, going to Coinstar, and people thinking I'm living this lavish life and very, very just going through it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so you have to like be okay with not being okay, and knowing that it's gonna be some bumps in the road.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you have a mission, you have a purpose, and it may be unclear today, but 5 years from now, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say 28 to 30, those years were eye opening.
Man. And that's real talk. And see, that's why I love, like, I've been talking to quite a few people, um personal conversations and interviews too. It's important for us to really keep it real about entrepreneurship or being an influencer or being a creator, because we see everything on Instagram and TikTok, and all these people are doing great and they got, 20,000, 30,000 followers. But behind the scenes, some folks is really suffering. Some folks are really scrapping up coins and going to Coinstar and trying to figure it out.
Right. No, seriously. And you come back from that though,
Mm-hmm.
um, and sometimes we can get a big head. We can think, oh, I'm on top, I'm successful, I know this person, I know that person. And baby, God will touch you up real quick. I'm like, okay, all right, I got the message, okay. But it's the truth though,
Yes.
like I've went through a lot behind the scenes, but it all makes sense years later.
How do you remain resilient with the ever changes that happen in the entertainment industry?
One thing I always say is have something of your own,
Okay.
whether that's a podcast, a business, even if you're not making that much profit from it, always have something that's yours because you can excel that and make money off that. Um,
Mm,
Companies and corporations change their mind like crazy. I've seen companies come and go, shows come and go. And at first, in the beginning, I'm an emotional person. Like, that used to traumatize me. I used to call my mom crying, like, why
mm,
didn't I get this job? Why are they canceling the show? Why me? Why me? Why me? And it toughened me up. And so I have to, with anything, you start to get tough skin, but
yeah.
always remember to have something of your own because we've seen it with the pandemic. These
Hmm.
companies let a lot of people go. And it's unfortunate, but it's a business at the end of the day. And you have to always remember that it's not you, it's just business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it is important. I agree to have something of your own. And we all have gifts. A lot
Yeah.
of our gifts are hidden. A lot of people, don't believe in their gift, but if you have a gift, it's important for you to, refine your gift, grow it, and it could be something of your own, because when hard times hit or challenges come or you get laid off, you can always
Mhm.
go back to that thing that you've created that will make you money, like you said. Um, and you've done that. You've done
Yeah.
that. Let's talk about that business that you created and then the other great things that you've done.
Yeah, so when we wrapped Mel Robbins show during the pandemic, I created a cosmetics company because people will ask me, "What are you wearing? What products?" And so I launched BFF Cosmetics, and that was my bread and butter. Like through the
Really?
pandemic, 2021, I was doing great um, financially. Like I was like, "Wow, I have something here. I'm doing great." But then I could get a call to say, "Hey, we want you to be a booking producer for a show in New York. Can you come back?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." Because I love
Mm-hmm.
it. But BFF Cosmetics really is my baby, and we are revamping and relaunching, and that's the goal for this upcoming year is to be back and pivot to Bianca Bee. I think I've
Mm.
given myself to so many people within these past few years that I forgot Bianca Bee a lot and the brand that I created and that
Mm.
young girl who created this show at 19. And I'm here at 31 now and I'm still passionate about it. Love talking to people like yourself and I love what I do. And I've created 3 books and released my last book on my 30th birthday, Resting Bee Face. And it's just basically giving advice to young people out there who feel misunderstood
Yeah.
and how to navigate through the business. And I'm just basically giving you gems of like, how can you excel and be better and things I've learned, some of the flaws and mistakes that I made within my career and just giving advice and giving back to young girls and
Yeah.
people who want to be in this space. So yeah, BFF Cosmetics, I'm an
Mm-hmm.
author, and the Bianca B Show.
And y'all got to check out Rest in Bee Face.
Yeah.
which I think is such a clever name. Oh my gosh, such a
You
clever
think?
title. But you have a heart and a passion for young girls.
Mhm.
Let's talk about that. Where does that come from, and how are you serving that community?
Yeah. It comes from just being a girl from Detroit who loved the entertainment industry. I wanted to be famous so badly. But then I realized that it's not what you think it is. And you can get sucked in and can go down many paths when you come into this space, and you want to make sure you're level headed before you get in this space. And so my whole goal is always to encourage people that you can be an entrepreneur. And I even was saying this to myself, I'm like, if that person can do it, I know I can do it. you
Yes.
know I look at women online and my mentors, and I'm like, yo, if they can do it, I know I can do it. And so seeing that representation too, because sometimes I've been the only Black girl in rooms within my corporate space,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to make a difference. I have to show up, and sometimes that's uncomfortable. And so my advice is always, to encourage young girls to do it the right way. And sometimes doing it the right way, it may take longer.
Yes.
you
Yes. That's right.
and social media can really impact young girls and create this thing like, I need to be a millionaire by 21. And no, babe, we still got a lot to learn, and I'm educating people to be in therapy, heal
Good.
those young childhood wounds, like, I'm an advocate for therapy. It has helped me tremendously to get in the space of like, oh, that's why I behave that way. Oh, you know
Mm.
what? That's not a personality trait. Why am I so defensive all the time, even in spaces I don't have to be defensive?
Mm. Yes.
So going back to your question, that young girl from Detroit, just like motivating her that you can get out of the city, you can get out of poverty. You saw a lot of stuff growing up, and you can make it.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that, us as women, excuse me, women of color, and even just young girls, period, really, especially in the high school, the young adult age, really need to build their confidence. Their
Yeah.
confidence is low, their self belief and self esteem is very low. And of course, I think we can attribute a lot of that to not just their school environment and their community, but mainly I think social media, and like you were
Mhm.
mentioning, because we see people that in your age group that's really making it and they're killing the game, and I want to be like that. And then when you don't get the likes and you don't get the follows, then you start thinking bad about yourself, and self-doubt and imposter syndrome and all those things happen. Talk to me a little bit about as far as confidence for young girls and young women. How can they build their confidence in a social world?
Mm. I think confidence comes with, I always say outer first, because when you look good, you feel good. Taking care of your health from physicality, are you being physical? Are you active? And I know that sounds so cliche, but working out, taking care of your body, feeling pretty, well, that confidence will start coming internally.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I dress down or I dress like a sluggish, and I'm like, when I was depressed, oh my God, I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to do anything. And how I gained that confidence was putting on makeup, putting on something cute, and going out. And also, I think as Black women, we tend to suppress a lot of our emotions. Black men and Black women
Mm-hmm.
suppress our emotions and think that, like, oh, I don't want to tell people my business. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to tell people my business. I don't want them to know, blah, blah, blah. And that's not healthy. If these people are your friends, if these are your mentors, you should be able to confide in them and create a space where you can feel confident. And I don't know, for me, when I've had mentors and had my friends by my side and my family by my side, that created more of a confidence for me. I remember, like, February 13th, 2022, I was in a very dark space that day. And if I didn't have my friends, oh. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to have that tribe. It is so
Yes.
important. And sometimes you have to detach from social media. and what are you consuming on a day to day? Yeah. So for me, to answer your question, confidence is, outer appearance, of course, but also having that tribe and having that support system and team by your side when you have those very low negative thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's so true. And I mean, you also talked about, those emotional wounds or there's childhood trauma, whatever you may have experienced. Um, all of that encompasses things that you need to take care of, your physical health, your mental health, you
Mhm.
know, in order for you to be able to feel confident
Yeah.
as a young woman. And like you said, kind of maybe dial back a little bit on the social media,
Yeah.
just a little bit. Ju-
Don't consume and be like, oh my God, this girl just got a Ferrari. Oh my God, this girl just got a Range Rover. Why am I not like that? Why am I not cute? Oh, I should get lip fillers. Oh no, I should get a BBL. No, I should get my boobs done. No, 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 no. This is gonna give me no. You gotta start within and with self.
mm,
For sure. And even your peers too. Some people get envious of people who've excelled or booked that gig when it should have been yours, but at the end of the day it wasn't for you. And we
yeah.
have to be okay with that. Like that's her story. And you also don't know what people are going through within their story. That's also something we miss
Yes.
out, like especially when we want to be like other people's relationships or other people,
Mm-hmm.
what they're going through behind the scenes
That's so
at
true.
all.
That is
Yeah.
so true. And it's like you got to follow your own timeline.
Mhm.
We're on chapter 1, that person may be on chapter 15, and it's going to take you some time, sugar. Like, slow
Yeah.
yourself. It's okay.
It's
It,
okay. Yeah.
right. It takes time to grow. And
Mhm.
you're a living testament of that. Just looking at your career, how it's progressed over the years and where you are today. Do you foresee more books? And you said you talked about your talent agency. Like, what confidence does it take for you to do that? Even though I know you struggle, we all do, right? With self doubt and imposter syndrome and perfectionism and analysis paralysis. I got a whole list of them.
Yeah.
But you have a very big dream. Is
Mhm.
that dream possible for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If
Yes.
I think it's gonna happen. Like I remember putting Oprah and Steve Harvey on my vision board back years before I even booked a job with them. And if you see it, like you have to, I don't know if it's just a hustle mentality or it's mine. Like I'm gonna get that. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's how I think. Like no, and even if I slightly get off pivot, I'm like, no, that's not the goal. This is the goal.
Mm.
This is what I'm going to do. It's not if ands buts about it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so if we love to manifest things, but
Yes.
you got to manifest and put in the work.
Yes. Yeah.
And you put in the work. Have you fulfilled a lot of the things on your vision board? You talked about you put Oprah and Steve Harvey on your vision boards over the years. Is there one more person or maybe two that you would really love to work with?
Tyler Perry and 50 Cent.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
Tyler.
yeah. Yeah, I just want to be in a room with them one day.
Mm,
Just to see what it's like in their world.
yeah. Why
Yeah.
Tyler?
Tyler, because he's created a platform for a lot of Black people,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing his soundstage and seeing his production studios, like it's eye opening. It's pretty dope.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Tyler Perry. I love his story of resilience.
Mhm.
He definitely is a person that we can look up to that has went through sleeping in his car to being a
Yeah,
billionaire.
yeah,
And I know that, like you said, it's possible. It can
yeah,
happen. You can have it if you put in the work. And
yeah.
I just love Tyler Perry. And I'm hoping, Tyler, if you're out there listening somehow, some way, get to Bianca Bee. Get to Bianca Bee. She is a hard working chick right here. She will do you well. I just love it. So you have other books. You have the 20s Chronicles,
Yes.
and then you have Plot, Plan, and Slay. What's that
Yeah.
all about?
That's basically all like a guidebook to helping you get to that plan. So a lot of things that I did, I had a 10-year plan. Me and my best friend wrote it out, and a lot of that happened. I was like, wow. When I go back and look at it, I'm like, wow. So basically giving gems of like, how you have to plan and execute it. And of course, it may not go the way that you want it, but
Yeah.
it will happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dope. Y'all got to check out her books. Cause already know people got all kind of resolutions that they made on January 1st, and it's not happening right now. The resolution is out the door. Come on now. But I love how you talked about you have to plot it, you have to plan it, and you have to slay. You have to put in the work. And so you have BFF Cosmetics company that's going to be back on the scene this year. You're hoping you're going to emerge this year?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
like I mentioned, I was like, yo, I didn't know I was going to sell out that fast. Like, I didn't know. Yeah. I really didn't know. And it takes money to make money. You got to flip it.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Scared money don't make money, right? You got to put in the work. I love that. And I love how you're so hopeful. You have a lot of faith.
Yeah.
It seems like your foundation has been built on faith and really believing in yourself. No matter what happens, even if you have to pivot, the plan may change, but the dream doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah. So speak to your younger self. If you can talk to younger Bianca Bee, what would you tell her?
To younger Bianca Bee, I would say, girl, don't rush the process. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Fix the attitude, adjust that. You don't know everything. Don't be so stubborn. Take advice from people. When you're in those rooms, absorb it all in and be grateful for it. Stay in gratitude. Sometimes what you pray for, you do get it, but just know that with that prayer and when you do get it, be a beast at it, and just choose men differently, Bianca. It all works out at the end, So yeah, that's what I would tell my younger self. But I love my man, okay? I had to go through all of that to find a good man. So yeah.
Hey, there's a couple people that I need to listen to that last part of that right there. Choose
wisely.
For real, because it really choosing the right person, if you don't, can really affect your entire life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I would tell younger Bianca.
Yes. And lastly, what advice would you give to someone that is going after their dreams? They're just starting. They have this big dream, but it seems like it might be a little bit too big.
I would say it's okay. Like, be present. It's okay. You may have to pivot. You may have to take a job you don't like. You may have to hustle until you get to that goal, and that's okay. And a lot of people back home may not understand it. Your family may not understand it. Your partner may not understand it, but you know your vision and you know your calling.
Yes.
So listen to that. And always go with your gut. If something doesn't feel right, if it feels rushed, if it doesn't align with what you wanted to do, that's okay. And listen to that inner voice, because when we don't, we tend to go elsewhere. So that's the advice I would give.
Yeah.
And save you and have keep your credit up. Save your money.
This girl dropping all kind of gems today. She gonna tell you about your health, your finances, your relationships, your business.
Listen, it all aligns, okay? It does.
You are too much.
It's something about when you turn 30, your 30s, you be like, okay, I get it. Okay. The light bulb goes off. Yeah, okay. I gotta keep it real. I can give you motivational quotes all day, but if I don't keep it real,
right,
I'm typically me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This has been so fun. I thank you so much, Bianca B, which I love your name.
Thank you.
It feels very hip hop-ish, and like it should be, like a cosmetic line, Bianca B. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you, and thank you so much for being transparent and sharing about your life and your journey in business. And I'm excited for you, and I can't wait to see the credits on the next Tyler Perry movie that comes out in 2026 with your name on it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and this made my day. You don't even understand.
Oh man, stay blessed, and y'all check her out. I'm gonna put her information in the show notes, and listen to Bianca B. She got the gems that she dropped today, and just make sure you were looking out for your whole entire life. Yeah. As we laugh. Y'all take care, man.
Bye.